This whole thing is taking too long. The spell should be working faster than this.
Ah, yes, but first he must return home, sire. For the spell to fully start working, the vessel must be in its place of casting when the stars are in their proper placement.
Fine, just keep him under observation until he returns home then.
Oh, hey, an abandoned building. Perfect place to snack on my garlic cloves from around the world Vincent got me. Ooh, this one's even chocolate coated.
Ew.
Now, I like vampires. I think they're cool and spooky and gothy and romantic. And not just regular romantic, but romantique. And by that I mean when something is shown to be way cooler and way more glamorized than it actually is. And when it comes to vampire movies, well, all of them are pretty romanticized. Sure, there are vampire movies where it looks like it would actually suck to be a vampire, and that is one type of vampire movie worth enjoying on its own. And then, of course, there are, oh hey, being a vampire is cool, bro, movies too. And then there are ones that are in between. The, oh hey, being a vampire is really hard, like really frustrating. You don't want this. Wink. But also action and power and strength. I am a monster, don't you know? Wink, wink. So basically, I want to talk about 1987's The Lost Boys, and why I think you should watch it. And before you go thinking The Lost Boys is just a sexy, cool vampire flick from the 80s, let me regale you with history first. In the mid-80s, The Lost Boys started out as a pseudo-Peter Pan-esque adaptation, where Peter Pan's lost boys, the kids who never grew up, are in fact vampires. Bleh. This had creepy kid adventure vibes written all over it. Think of it as something like 1987's Monster Squad, or quite literally what they originally wanted to attempt, Goonies, but vampires. And I wonder how much of that had to do with Corey Feldman being in both these movies. And when director Joel Schumacher took on the job of directing The Lost Boys, he wanted to make a couple of changes, most notably making everyone older and sexier. Thus today, let me introduce you to the board of tonality. A simple method for us to see how often we are feeling youthful and adventurous, or broody and saucy. Our story begins with sweeping shots of Santa Carla Pier at night, before transitioning to some young ruffians causing trouble, introducing us to the titular Lost Boys leader, David, played by Kiefer Sutherland. Him and his gang get booted from the pier and soon take revenge on the security guard who so wronged them. But soon, we get introduced to a small family unit, freshly moving to Santa Carla, the murder capital of the world. Fun movie fact for ya, the real-life filming location of Santa Cruz wasn't too keen on being called murder capital of the world, despite having a bunch of murderers live there for a while. And so Santa Cruz got changed to Santa Carla. As for the family, let's see here. We have cool young kid Sam, played by Corey Haim, and handsome and soulful-looking young man Michael, played by Jason Patrick. A doggy, and lastly, movie mom Lucy, played by Diane Wiest. I'll just put her in the Diane Wiest column for now, seeing as she might skew the results, being one of the most famous movie moms of all time. Although, to me, she will always be the Avon lady.
Avon calling! Avon calling! Avon calling!
Anyway, our family moved here to Santa Carla to live with their grandpa after Mom Lucy and Mystery Dad get divorced. Soon we meet the lovable old fart grandpa. That right off the bat seems like my kind of guy.
Looks like he's dead.
Playing dead. We got some rules around here. Second shelf is mine. If all the corpses buried around here was to stand up all at once, we'd have one hell of a population problem.
So he seems like a pretty cool guy. Except for the no TV thing.
There's no TV.
Have you seen a TV? I haven't seen a TV, Mike.
I feel you. I need to watch my spooky movies. Later that night, back at the pier, we see the nightlife starts picking up. And all I can really say about this strange scene is that guy is Tina Turner's saxophone player, and he made this song. And this person is groovin', and these guys are really groovin'. And Michael and this girl are making eyes at each other. I guess all the smell of sweat and sex in the air does kind of warrant a tick in this more adult column. Elsewhere, Lucy helps out a small child, befriends a local video store owner, Max, who doesn't take no guff from no lost boys, let me tell ya.
I told you not to come in here anymore.
Before landing herself a job at said local video store.
A job?
Elsewhere, Sam scopes out the local comic shop, where he bumps into some rude kids.
Listen, buddy, if you're looking for the diet frozen yogurt bar, it went out of business last summer.
Edgar and Alan Frog, the Frog Brothers. Don't say it. Don't say it. It's just a cool sounding coincidence, and it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have to be a reference to anything. Just calm down. Edgar and Alan Frog must be a reference to Edgar Allan Poe. He was a spooky goth fellow, and this is a spooky goth story, so it must be a reference to that.
Are we sure this is the avatar of Abnormalia? He's just.
Not to worry, my liege. We are always prepared. I already have someone on the job.
Hey, what's happening? Why am I so drowsy? Where was I?
You were saying comics is for kids.
Huh? Yeah, comics are for kids or something. One in the kids column. And the Frog Brothers feel it is very important that Sam gets a free vampire comic.
You'll like this one, Mr. Phoenix. It could save your life.
Huh. Wonder if that's foreshadowing. But still, what the hell is it with the animosity with these kids?
Where the hell are you from? Krypton?
Later, Michael makes goo-goo eyes at both a girl and a vampire boy. More people die. Grandpa shows us he's a troll.
I thought we were going to town.
That's as close to town as I like to get.
Sam visits the Frog Brothers again, who still insist on Sam getting a free comic.
Hey, man. Read this.
All whilst Michael meets up with Mystery Girl Star and the vampy missing lads, before they all race off to go hang out in a destroyed club that's sunk into a cavern. A place that definitely scores a point in the romantic column. Oh, and let's not forget that we need some vampire powers in this vampire story. And I suppose the power of suggestion is quite a cool one to show.
Maggots, Michael. You're eating maggots. How do they taste?
You're eating worms. Can you do that shit where you turn into worms?
No,
It doesn't work on chips, and it works on things that already look like worms.
And of course, because of peer pressure, Michael just does whatever the infinitely cooler David tells him to do, including drinking blood.
Drink some of this, Michael. Be one of us.
And literally jumping off a bridge.
Come with us, Michael.
Let this be a lesson, kids. Be your own person and think for yourself. But Michael transitions into falling into bed before waking up and immediately getting asked to babysit Sam.
Max asked me to go to dinner with him after work tonight. Would you stay home with Sam?
And so that Grandpa can go on a who knows what with the widow.
I'm just gonna drop by some of my handiwork to the widow Johnson.
But weird stuff happens. Michael goes through changes. Sam is giving a big tick in the kids column. Oh, and Michael gets attacked by their dog, who is defending Sam, good boy, followed by the brothers making a harsh discovery.
Your creature of the night, Michael. My own brother, a goddamn shit-sucking vampire. Will you wait till Mom finds out, buddy?
Shit-sucking vampire? Now that's a good insult. So Sam calls the Frog Brothers, who don't actually help at all.
You did the right thing by calling us.
As Michael comes to grips with his undeadness, leading to Mom Lucy canceling her date with Max that night.
He's gonna kill me!
Honey, I'm coming!
And with a healthy handful of comedy and finger crosses, we get another tick in the kids column. Oh, and Sam goes soft, Michael goes out, Lucy comes home, and Michael and Star earn a big fat sexy and adult tick in their column for making music video love, followed by an immediate extra bonus point due to teen angst.
I have more serious things in my mind than girls in school. There's things I'm dealing with that you can...
Things I wouldn't understand.
Later, we see Lucy getting attacked by Max's dog, Thorn.
Hi, Thorn!
When she tries to deliver some "I'm sorry I ran out on our date" whine, causing Sam to start hypothesizing with the Frog Brothers regarding Max.
This all started when my mom went to work at Max's video store. Max never comes in till after it's dark. The dog who chased my mom this morning was his. You guys can nail him and save Santa Carla.
Good luck, kids! I can see the headlines now. That night, Lucy and Max attempt another go at a date, this time eating at Grandpa's place. And at least Max is hella respectful towards Michael with the whole "I'm trying to date your mom" thing.
Well, you're the man of the house, and I'm not coming in until you invite me.
Oh, and Sam invited the Frog Brothers over for dinner too. How romantic. Yay. Where the kids score a big old kid tick in the kid column with their kid dinner antics to try and expose Max as a vampire, including garlic.
No, it's not cheese, it's garlic.
What I assume is holy water, if not just regular water. Oh, I suppose just in case we're dealing with Legacy of Kain vampires here.
You still retain many of your vampiric weaknesses. Immersion in water, while not fatal, will dissolve your physical body.
Unspeakable pain, relentless agony. Time ceased to exist.
Checking for an unearthly glow.
He's not glowing.
And reflection.
Ah! Sam, what has gotten into you tonight?
I'm sorry, kids, but it turns out Max is just a regular old human dude who wants to bang your mom. But back to our edgy, grim adult story. We see Michael watch on as the male children whom cannot be found kill some guys on the beach. Which is okay, because they are Nazis. And it is always okay to kill and maim Nazis in movies and video games. But yeah, they can get a point for this one. Soon we learn that Star is indeed a vampire.
She's one of them!
Sorta. Let's go for vampire-ish. That is, until they have their first kill.
We're not one of them until you make your first kill.
So Michael, Star, and Laddie?
Like Laddie and me. We're not one of them.
A kid who cameoed on a f***ing milk carton briefly. Are not yet truly for real vampires. Huh, another point to you then. So we spring into action with the aid of the Frog Brothers to take down the vampire menace with a loving message of brotherly love.
If something happens down there, I'm not gonna have the strength to protect you.
Well, this time I'll protect you, bud.
Aw, I'm gonna give you both a point. And because they weren't able to identify which vampire is the leader, they decided to kill Bill S. Preston Esquire.
Good night, bloodsucker.
No!
You medieval dickweed!
And to make the blood look extra strange and unworldly, glitter was added to it. Neat, huh?
Oh, so it's cool here and lame when Twilight does it?
What was that?
Nothing.
Is something happening by the...
No, just continue your review.
But the gang regroup, where they gear up, get rid of Grandpa.
The widow Johnson called. She said to pick her up at 7 instead of 8, okay?
We got a date tonight?
Mom is out on a date, so that's okay. We don't have to deal with her. And get prepared for the inevitable vampire attack that is to follow. Which hard cuts to serious movie talk.
They'll be coming for Laddie and me, won't they?
They'll be coming for all of us.
And here is the absolute best part. When the vampires rise that evening to take revenge for their fallen brother, we see that they have gross little bat feet. I f***ing love it. The vampire attack that night goes as you would expect. The kids using their kid power to take them down, but mildly, just mild kid power is being used here. So no point for you. You know, they didn't want to offset the absolute horror that comes from melting a vampire in a tub of holy water, which turns out causes the rest of your plumbing to just go bananas. Huh. I want to compare to the Goonies and mark you down, but it does look really cool. You're safe for now. Also, they did not want to underplay what happens if you spear a vampire into your electronics.
Death on stereo.
Hey, you just earned yourself a kid tick, mister. But don't worry, Michael and David's dialogue quickly lands their side a point too.
Tried to make you immortal.
You tried to make me a killer!
You are a killer. But blood is in your veins.
So is mine!
As we lead to David's impalement and death at the hands of Michael. But the battle for evil isn't over just yet.
Don't let them see me like this.
As we realize that David was not the head vampire, but rather Max?
This is all my fault. David and my boys misbehaved.
But how?
Well, you passed the test.
Don't ever invite a vampire into your house, you silly boy. It renders you powerless.
Oh, really? Like, really? I didn't know that's how that works.
It was all going to be so perfect, Lucy. Just like one big happy family.
A brief battle ensues, and before the evil vampire takes a grasp of Lucy's heart...
Don't fight, Lucy. It's so much better if you don't fight.
Mom!
Vampire takes a grasp of Lucy's heart. Hey, Lucy was a Dracula reference this whole time.
But Lucy, I'm British.
But so are these.
Lucy!
Anyway, before evil blah 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 blah, Grandpa and his truck loaded with giant steaks comes hurtling through the wall, killing off the real head vampire in a brief burst of fire and soot. Which turns out was unfortunately heavily edited. Ending with my main man Grandpa here's words of wisdom.
One thing about living in Santa Carla I never could stomach. All the damn vampires.
As our story ends and we fade to black. Now, obviously, I want you to watch The Lost Boys, but first let's see what the Board of Tonality has to say. Is it for kids? Is it for adults? It doesn't matter! Sure, The Lost Boys has some minor tonal issues. Is it a kids movie? Is it a teen movie? Is it an adventure? Is it a comedy? An erotic thriller, perhaps? But it doesn't matter, as long as you are aware of what you are getting into. Some of the kid dialogue is some of the most quotable, most zingy, most fun bits of the movie.
You need your sunglasses, talk on the phone? Are you freebasing? Inquiring minds want to know.
Kill your brother. You'll feel better. No two bloodsuckers go out the same way. Some yell and scream, some go quietly.
We blew it, man. We lost it. Shut up. We unraveled in the face of the enemy.
And I do enjoy the occasional woe is me vampire art. And the music, gasp and clutch my pearls, it sure is nice. Especially the constant choral singing kids. It's like I'm watching gothy romantic hair metal, the movie. Effects? Well, although pretty minimal, they're all pretty great. I love the flying, the faces, the fangs, the feet, the glitter blood. Again, it would have been great to see that extended Max's death sequence. Also, there are no slurs in it, which which is kind of a big thing for some of these 80s movies. But that also means you can watch this movie with most of your family. Or your romantic partner. Or your friend. Or your romantic friend. But the point is, The Lost Boys has something for everyone, and I highly recommend it.
All right, get out, you get out. Okay, your house is that way. You ought to go straight there. Enough of this faffing around on the coast nonsense.
But I have been trying to get home.
Scat, get. You ought to go straight home. If you're lucky, you can get one more of these vaguely aquatic-themed episodes out. But then, it is straight home, mister, where you can talk about killer dolls and Draculas and whatever, instead of all these water ghosts and fishmen and whatnot.
I was talking about sexy vampires, but whatever.
And you lot too. Well, you just best go and get yourself away too, unless you're planning on subscribing and liking and whatnot. It takes a lot of cult power to make these videos, and indoctrinations ain't cheap. I swear, some people these days never listen no more.